Man saves strange creature dying in the sun. When it grows up, he can't believe his eyes. On a sweltering summer afternoon in the heart of Florida, with the blazing sun casting long, shimmering heat waves across the pavement and the air thick with humidity, Jeff Longo leisurely strolled down the familiar sidewalk of his quiet neighborhood. He was enjoying the gentle breeze from a passing car and the serene ambience of his community, completely unaware that this ordinary walk would soon set into motion a series of extraordinary events that would irrevocably change the course of his life forever. The sun blazed mercilessly, and the asphalt shimmered with heat, so intense it seemed capable of frying an egg. Amid the sweltering scene, Jeff's eyes caught something small and motionless under the relentless rays. His pulse quickened as he stepped closer. There, lying on the scorching ground, was a tiny creature no larger than his thumb. Its fragile body moved faintly, a shallow rise and fall of breath barely perceptible. Its skin was parched and hot, and its eyes remained shut. Jeff quickly realized the grim truth. If he didn't act immediately, this little being would not survive. Without a second thought, he gently scooped it up, shielding it with the shadow of his hand. Beneath his fingertips, a faint heartbeat throbbed, fragile yet persistent. Though he knew little about caring for wild animals, the urgency of the moment was undeniable. Cradling the tiny creature close to his chest, Jeff hurried home, careful with every step, determined to give it a chance at life. At home, Jeff made a temporary nest out of soft cloth in a small box. His hands trembled with excitement as he gently placed the little creature inside. He didn't know what to feed such a tiny animal, so he turned to the internet for help. Jeff posted pictures of his find on Reddit, hoping for advice. His fingers moved quickly over the keyboard as he described the situation. The response from users was mixed. Many were sure the animal wouldn't survive, especially in the hands of an inexperienced person. Some even advised Jeff to leave it to die, saying it was natural selection. These words hurt him, but Jeff decided not to give up. He was absolutely convinced that the fate of this tiny creature was now in his hands. Ignoring the pessimistic comments, he began feeding the little one with a special newborn animal formula through a dropper. Every drop that made it into the tiny mouth felt like a victory. Every 2 hours, day and night, Jeff would wake up to feed his little charge. The lack of sleep was hard, but he kept caring for the tiny animal. He named him Biscuit because he was so small and soft. The first days were the hardest. Biscuit was very weak, and Jeff was afraid he might not make it through the night. Every morning, Jeff would wake up with his heart in his throat, checking to see if his tiny friend was still breathing. But the little creature turned out to be surprisingly resilient. With each day, Biscuit grew stronger and more active, and Jeff felt his bond with this tiny being growing. After a week, Biscuit started growing fur. Jeff was thrilled to watch his pet transform. Now he could see that Biscuit had little paws and a long tail, though he still couldn't tell what kind of animal he was. Every new hair on Biscuit's body felt like a small miracle to Jeff. A month later, Biscuit turned into an energetic little animal. He started exploring Jeff's home, climbing on anything he could reach. One day, Jeff nearly had a heart attack when he couldn't find Biscuit, only to discover him peacefully sleeping in the pocket of an old jacket. By then, Jeff had completely bonded with his unusual pet. He created a special corner in his home for Biscuit with ladders and platforms for climbing. Jeff spent several sleepless nights constructing this setup, but the result was worth it. Biscuit loved his new play area, spending hours jumping and rolling around on it. One day, Jeff noticed Biscuit attempting to glide, jumping from high places and stretching the skin flaps between his front and back legs. This discovery made Jeff wonder what kind of animal his pet actually was. He spent a whole night studying different types of flying mammals, trying to solve the mystery of Biscuit. After 2 months of living together, Jeff finally got an answer. One of the Reddit users, seeing the new pictures of the grown-up Biscuit, identified him as a flying squirrel, a rare species that lives in the southern states of the USA. Jeff felt a thrill of excitement at this discovery. Jeff was amazed. He began learning everything he could about flying squirrels. He found out that these animals are nocturnal and rarely interact with humans. But Biscuit, raised by a human from birth, behaved nothing like a wild animal. He loved sitting on Jeff's shoulder, watching the world around him with his big eyes. Now that Jeff knew who Biscuit was, he could take better care of his needs. He changed Biscuit's diet, adding nuts, seeds, and fruits. Biscuit especially loved pecans, and Jeff often laughed, watching his little friend trying to carry a nut almost as big as he was. Jeff started thinking about whether he could release Biscuit back into the wild. This thought brought him mixed feelings. On one hand, he wanted to give Biscuit a chance to live naturally, but on the other hand, he feared losing his little friend. But experts told him that an animal raised by humans likely wouldn't survive on its own. Besides, Biscuit had become too attached to Jeff, following him everywhere. The decision to keep Biscuit wasn't easy, but Jeff knew it was the best choice for both of them. He set up a spacious cage where Biscuit could safely fly and jump. Jeff spent all his savings on this cage, but seeing Biscuit happy in it, he had no regrets. Jeff's life changed completely with Biscuit's arrival. His unusual pet became a local celebrity, with people coming over to see the remarkable little creature. Jeff even created a social media page for Biscuit, sharing their daily life. The number of followers grew every day, and soon, Biscuit became an internet sensation. Biscuit grew more active and loved sitting in Jeff's shirt pocket, peeking out with curious eyes. Jeff often took him to work, where Biscuit entertained his co-workers with acrobatic tricks. One day, Biscuit caused quite a stir at the office when he decided to fly between desks, causing both awe and panic among the staff. Although Biscuit was a nocturnal animal, he adjusted to Jeff's daytime schedule. In the evenings, they watched TV together with Biscuit comfortably settled on Jeff's shoulder. Sometimes, Jeff noticed how Biscuit seemed interested in the screen, especially drawn to nature documentaries. Jeff's dogs also accepted their unusual new family member. At first, Jeff worried they might harm little Biscuit, but it soon became clear there was nothing to fear. Biscuit loved teasing the dogs, jumping on their backs and quickly running away. The dogs, in turn, treated Biscuit with kindness, as if he were their mischievous younger brother. Time passed, and Jeff realized he couldn't imagine his life without Biscuit. The tiny creature he had found half dead on the sidewalk had become his best friend and constant source of joy and wonder. Each day brought something new. Biscuit learned to open the door of his cage or developed a taste for popcorn during movie nights. Jeff and Biscuit's incredible story quickly spread across the internet, touching hearts around the globe. People admired Jeff's devotion to caring for such a unique and delicate companion. Some even joked about wanting their own pocket-sized flying squirrel. Messages poured in from strangers, many saying his story had transformed their understanding of the bond between humans and animals. Reflecting on the day he found Biscuit, Jeff often felt a deep sense of gratitude. Being in the right place at the right time had changed both their lives forever. By choosing to save that tiny creature, he gained not just a remarkable companion, but also a new outlook on life. Each time Biscuit curled up and fell asleep on his chest, Jeff's heart swelled with love and thankfulness. Now, Biscuit thrives in a loving home with everything he could ever need. A spacious cage for gliding, an array of toys, and, most importantly, Jeff's unwavering care. Inspired by his little friend, Jeff even began studying veterinary science to provide the best possible care for Biscuit. Every day, he marvels at how much joy such a small creature has brought into his life. Each morning, as he wakes to find Biscuit peacefully snoozing in his cozy nest, Jeff smiles. He knows his life has been immeasurably enriched by this tiny miracle and the unexpected bond they share. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.